when it comes to standing out online, when you have items in your shop, in your service area that maybe everybody else has, how can you be unique and different and stand out? That's what we're going to focus on this episode of Harvesting Growth. Hi, I'm Laura Southerly. I'm here with my dear friend Brad Kilgore, and we're going to talk about how you can stand out. Now, we talked about this a little bit in the last episode, and we've mentioned several times about being authentic. That is something that agriculture definitely brings to the table, is that every area of the country has wonderful areas that you can take photos of. You can show the equipment in the fields. You can talk about what crops you're planting. You can talk about the different seasons. So there's a lot of different things to keep authentic photos and videos out there. But we're going to talk about something that most dealerships do, and that would be selling online. Your listings may look very similar to other listings because it features mainly tech specs. So we're going to talk about going a little bit beyond that. So, Brad, how are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. I don't know that I could say tech specs fast three times though.
I wanted to make sure I was very clear on that one,
Okay.
definitely. But you know, research is very important to agriculture, very important to the growers, the ranchers, the farmers that are buying any piece of equipment, because you do want to know the horsepower. You want to know all the tech specs behind the equipment, and if this piece of equipment will work or be an attachment to that piece of equipment. So we're not saying that you won't need it. We're just saying that the manufacturers give the sell sheets to you. You have the manuals, you have, you know, the tech specs on each of them. Well, how can you stand apart, especially if you have some new and used equipment that you're trying to sell? So I know, Brad, if I would quiz you on all kinds of tech specs, you would be able to rattle a lot off. But what comes to mind when you think of listings online, whether it be tractors or planters or combines, even Kubotas?
Well, I don't know that I have the exact answer to that question. However, it there's there when it comes to equipment or selling equipment, you can do it online. You can do it in real, in person. I know when I'm driving out here in the rural area I live in, I see the big Coyote tractor place, driving by. Right, it's very attractive because all the equipment. So clearly, you can have big signs or you can showcase your equipment, but not everybody is going to be in your area to see it if you have it on your at your shop or on your lot. So that's where the online piece comes in, is a whole nother angle to be able to get your what you're selling out to the right people.
Exactly. And the last episode that I was mentioning, we were talking about commodity versus non-commodity, and this is where it's going to take that a little bit further. So the commodity is definitely the sell sheets, the specific information, the facts about those pieces of equipment. If they're not able to drive past where you are located, how can you grab their attention online? And so there's going to be a shift, or we're going to recommend a shift. Instead of just stating, I'll use Kubotas as an example today, is if you have a new Kubota M in stock, instead of just listing again what it will do, think about answering some questions of why they would want that particular model. So you might want to go ahead and start with those uncomfortable questions. And we're talking about price. A lot of people are hesitant about putting price, and you don't have to be maybe to the dollar, but you can say starting at, because they may want to upgrade with different things and attachments to it. So something you may want to put instead is, what does a Kubota M7 actually cost with a loader attachment? And that kind of gives them an idea of, okay, if I want this, it actually can work with that piece or that loader. Another idea would be the top maintenance issues to watch out for if we're thinking about combines. So you can actually have that conversation and talk about what they should be looking for. So when they're looking for a used piece of equipment, not only include the price, but maybe some problems or concerns and comparisons. So again, it starts setting you apart instead of just them looking at the line items. Now, depending on where you list them, yes, you're going to include those facts, but you're able to really expand on or drive them back to your website to learn about blogs for where those maintenance issues would be, or what would be the benefit of buying a used piece of equipment over a new piece of equipment this year or moving forward. So that's something that we would recommend, is really telling the story. The other thing is talk about local or things that are specific to your local area. So if you are listing a planter or something, you want to go ahead and maybe tell the story about if you're dealing with heavy clay soils here in this county, so be very specific of the county you're in or the region that you're in. You can state this tractor is excellent with pulling the power. It has the pulling power to get you through the spring tillage. So again, you're mentioning the specific of your county, you're talking about local crops, you're talking about growing conditions. So both the farmer will be attracted to it and the search engines will have more information to load up. Because as we were, again, in a previous episode, we were talking about AI, how it offers up a summary. If you have that additional information in, you're going to be what is presented versus just saying we have this type of tractor or this brand of tractor with this horsepower at this price point. So again, talking about why it's been used in your county, your area, with your attachments in your soil, really starts telling a story about that piece.
I agree. I think the biggest takeaway from that is educational, informational, geographical, and a story. Tie it all together.
It does. And they can definitely see themselves using it, because you can remember the first time you went to have a car, buy your car or a piece of furniture. You felt yourself sitting in that on that leather couch or in that tractor cab, or you sat down in that luxurious vehicle or that ideal pickup. There was elements to it that all of a sudden started to tell a story. So if you can start painting that picture, giving them the facts, tell them the benefit of working in the soil conditions that your growers will be working in, it does grab their attention.
Yes.
And the third tip we would give is it doesn't always have to be about your showroom. It doesn't have to always be about your lot. Like Brad said, they might catch their attention as you're driving past. But if they're not in the area, give them that opportunity to also know about what services you offer. So go back into your service department and ask the different technicians to talk through. Maybe just do a quick 60-second interview or a video about how to prepare this piece of equipment for spraying or how to winterize it, winterize your spray monitor. Why don't you look at the specifics of what wears out first? And again, now all of a sudden the growers, when they see either passing your location, or if the growers see your listing online and they click through, hearing those discussions, seeing those videos from your service tech, also sees what else you can offer when they buy from you. That is huge. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, that's totally huge.
Yes, they can have some questions answered, because I think that some of the growers, obviously they want to support local businesses. They want to support your small business. So as you tell them and they hear from your other experts on your team, that gives them that comfort that they know buying something from you, they will be able to bring it to you and know how to winterize it. They will know how to prepare for the next planting season. They will be able to discuss with you, okay, these bearings wore out faster than what was expected, because they heard you talking about it. So they see you differently. It's not just sell, sell, sell. They see you as, wait a minute, they had a solution, they solved my problem, and they were there to support me after the fact. So again, that all ties together. They may actually come to you first for that service, and then they'll be coming back to upgrade their planters. They'll be coming back to get the next attachments for their equipment. their monitors, all those parts, pieces, and new big investments, they will know that not only can they buy from you, but you're going to be there to guide them the next steps. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, yeah, because they saw you, whether that was online or traveling through. Now they are interested in supporting you locally, but you've gone the extra mile by, educating them, supporting them, servicing, selling other attachments. I mean, you become the go-to because you cross all the T's essentially.
Absolutely. And I think you bring a valid point too. They now know what parts you can offer. So it isn't just always a big ticket purchase. They
Yeah.
see the value. They really do. So I know that we just kind of did a very high level of the three main tips of not just list the basics when you are listing any kind of equipment, to actually tell that story so they know how it's going to be used. And you're going to go ahead, and tip number two was be locally specific so they can see how, why, and when they would use that particular piece of equipment. And then, of course, put the spotlight on your service tech, all the areas of expertise that you have with your team, and how you're able to support them moving forward. But I'll even throw in a bonus tip here, and that would be, as you take these photos, I mean, again, it's right there on your lot, and you're going around and you're taking all these photos, and you're able to maybe take the video, because now with the phone, it's very easy to take those highlight reels, label them, label them, label them. So many people just upload them and it'll have an IMG underscore 5672 dot JPEG. And what happens, those are completely generic to AI or any search engines. So take the time to relabel them, whether it be with what the parts, pieces, tractor, brand, you want to be very specific as to what you have photographed. So it may be that you have to be specific about, this is a parallel arm that fits whatever type of planter it is. And that makes a difference when it comes to search engines. So it takes a few extra minutes, yes, but what the value it brings is priceless. So many people are not labeling their images, and therefore they're generic. So take the time to label. Would you agree?
100%. That is a bonus tip that you want to pay attention to because like Laura just said, it might take a little extra time, but it's going to earn you some definitely extra brownie points by doing it.
Yes. And if you want to take that one step forward, there's always alt tags. Even a lot of social media now offers alt tags, and you can just basically, as you labeled that parallel arm, take that and drop it in as your alt tag too for your image. If you're loading a video, add the time to put the description. And that's another value with AI. You can actually ask it to help you with writing the description for your video. So many people are not doing this. So many dealerships are skipping this step thinking it's done. But if you can do it, you're going to stay above the rest. So I think that, do you have any other tips that you'd like to provide today, Brad?
Can't compete with your tips, Laura. That was great.
Well, we hope that these four tips all help each dealership, each small business owner move forward. So, with that, I think we'll wrap this episode so that you can get out and play in the soil. Thank you again.